they've expressed that into the reflections of the attributes and the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, we've learned that the whole creation is but love. The wisdom of our teacher, the way they do dawah, the way, I mean, it's beautiful. Listen to the brother yesterday. He came here without a hat. As the days went along, his head turned into a turban. Did any teacher or ustad tell you to keep a beard or a turban during this? It's payback time. What do you think, Brother Shafiq? After such blessings, and Ustad Usman, what blessings did he share with you? Allah's blessed him with the quality of bringing the energy back up. You're motivated, you're thirsty. I know how he works, how he delivers. Eid is coming. You're going to go back to your worlds. What are you going to go back with? All those fruits and blessings, what are you going to do with it? How are you going to express your love? While we've been here, there's been a number of sporting events. I think Bangladesh won a game. Liverpool won a game. Even within the confines of the Itikaaf, you were hearing these mutterings. Our boxer brothers said, don't forget about boxing. Who won today? Pakistan won today. That's how the messages come in. Yeah? That's the leak. You see, we imitate, we have an interest on what we love. We want to walk, we want to talk, we want to play, we want to be like the footballers, like the boxers. We're interested in their lifestyle. That's why social media is rife. It's not about the boxing we're watching what the boxer is doing. How is he training? What is he eating? What is he talking? Yes or no? And the more you do that, the more you get drawn in. The more you get drawn in and the more the love increases. Yes or no? Why not apply that formula to the Sunnah? One of the stars mentioned, remind them. Even if they may not admit it, even if they don't feel the love of the Prophet, peace be upon him. But if they apply the Sunnah, they're not happy, but they smile. They will become happy. The love will come. Those who claim their love, show your love. No one's telling you. Be an example to others. I've got a presentation here, but we want to do a practical as well. But you're all intelligent people. There are some workbooks here on how to apply the love. But I'd rather invoke our minds and our hearts and use that motivation that's been building up. Turn it into action. Make some commitments. Did you know the whole of this path is but Sunnah? Yes, I'm here talking about implementing the outward Sunnah, but you know what? I have got a sheet here. This is part of the course, part of the Tariqa Muhammadiyah, the path of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But the real miracle is when you look at that mountain diagram, top right, That's nothing but implementing the sunnah to take you to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. By falling in love with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's other things that happen here. Other things that link you with the wisdom of the teacher. I might just share something personal. Again, it's linked to sunnah, dressing of the sunnah. And once me and my wife did mashra with a wise man. You know who the wise man is? About schools. There's a lot of things about schools and about change. However, my first child was a daughter. That was a change in me. Wow, responsibility. Just realize how selfish I've been in my life. So you start to think about deen. Then you think about they're going to school and you know, Brother Zafar is involved in many things, what things are happening in schools, what not, mixed schools, single schools. I remember doing advice from our teacher, the wise man. Bring the sunnah into the house. Do a tabiyah in the house. Gave other advice, but focus on that. And look at our way. The way of the teacher and the mashaykhs is to instill love and show by example. So become that example. 4 or 5 years when living down south is different from here. Here you've got many other Muslims communities. Mainly you have a few Muslims in a very English school. We discussed about the hijab. So my nature is like I have been with my brothers, look, do this, don't do that, work hard, get your A levels. Then afterwards, but that's not worked. Marj is the example of that. Because I've got more A's than him. Then after he tells me, why didn't you tell me that I needed to work hard at college? I go, but now work hard in your law degree. You've learnt your lesson. Is that right, Majid? MashaAllah. But we waited. Something just before I came to Itikaaf, my daughter's saying, I want to wear the hijab. Not once have we said it. Maybe a father wears a hat. Maybe a mother wears a hijab. And this wise man instilled this same love and motivation in her uncles, in her aunts. So the environment around the house is that. Okay, now she's ready to wear the hijab. She's a little bit afraid. What if the boys say something? What if they don't be my friends? My wife was, look, if you don't want Nagana, this is where we come in now. Beti, you look beautiful. Tell him it's Ramadan. So encouragement. She went in. Her friends echoed that. That's really nice. She's worried what some of the boys might say. One boy said to her, then she came back, she said, she's worried. One boy said to her, why are you wearing that? Another boy stood up. That's because it's her religion. She said, I didn't need to say anything. These may sound small, but for a 7-8-year-old girl, these are like miracles. There's a school play happening. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We were planning to have a hair plats. Encouragement. Maybe you could wear a different color hijab. But what would What would the parents say? Now we're talking to her, encouraging her. Turned up at the play. Abuji, will you come? So supported her. The beaming smile on herself, the company. Then there was other girls wearing hijab as well on the play. The environment, so it made me reflect, how can I change? What was the message I was getting here? Sometimes the quickest way to change is to change your environment, change your company. We've all got that little girl in us. What will my work colleagues think? What will my friends think? What will my wife think if I wear a beard now? We all have their little 7, 8-year-old girls' worries inside us. But if you change your friends, change your environment, quickest way to change. You are who your friends are. We know from the seerah. We know from the lessons of the Prophet ﷺ, when they see a group of children, if they want to give dawah to that child, they'll talk to all the children. If his friends change, your child will change. So if we are serious about these blessings, we need to be serious and put the planning in place now before we leave this blessed Zaviyah. You're going to be leaving with a lot of motivation, a lot of josh that we say in our language. But don't let that josh fizzle away. Same concept in business. If you want to change, if you want to make more income or more turnover, and you keep doing the same things again and again, is your business going to change? The businessmen are shaking their heads. You've got to make a change, sometimes drastic change. So think about what you are going to change, even if it means change your environment, change your friends. That's why those brothers who attend Jamaats regularly, those ones who've gone in Palestine, that company brings about a change from one to the other. Then you bring that change into your life. You attach yourself to people who you want to be inspired by. There's a presentation here about the Sunnah. As a protector of Iman. I'm just going to go through some of these things quickly. Because really the key thing here is love. I've jumped ahead already, but you already know this because you've tasted some of that love. What's the most precious thing that you have? Would you sell that for all this gold and silver? I'll come back to that. Imagine you are the palace. In the palace is the greatest of treasures, your Iman. I'm jumping ahead of the slides here because I want to just give you the message and we want to do a practical today. Your first layer of protection is your fard, the wajibats, the high level sunnahs. Then the other sunnahs, the other nafls. For they become your defenses when the enemy comes. The enemy is after just one thing. He wants to take your Iman. And we are here on this world to profess our Iman and to keep hold of it, to increase in it. Yes or no? You start dropping these sunnahs. What sort of protection do you have? Just a matter of time. Iman is a treasure. I'm just skipping through this. But the thing is, I want you to take it further. How much time do we have? Let's use a different example. Brother Usman, it's your inspiration, this, yeah? Make it interactive. Brother Zafar, can you bring that name of Allah down? Not just above there. Brother was the top there. So you have to bear with me. Let's try this example. Forget the slides for a second. No, you're holding that. You're holding that. This is Brother Zafar. That is his Iman. 2 more volunteers. Stand up now. Name me a fard. Name me a fard. Namaz and fasting. Be the bodyguards of Brother Zafar. 3 more people stand up. Volunteers. That's 1. 2. Name me a sunnah. High level sunnah. Brother Usman, help them. Okay. Keep him a beard. Beard, come here. Bodyguard. Name a sunnah. Brothers, help him. Mom. Yeah, you taking my punchline away. That's a true Sufi. That's a true Sufi. You might as well sit down. No, wait, let's carry on. Yeah? Sunnah. Smiling. Stand here. Another sunnah. Chalo, another sunnah. Come in here. Are you getting the message here, yeah? I don't need to carry on. How easy is it to snatch away his Iman? It's getting stronger and stronger. Now my beautiful brother there, he does not settle for just the sunnah. We are people of Hatme Nabuwat. What does that mean? What does that mean? Brother Shafiq? No, what does it mean? No. Yes. He's already given it away. Dawah, let's take the fight out there. Now you're on the offensive, not the defensive. Now how difficult is it to snatch your treasure away now? It's not just sunnah, is it? Thank you, guys. Inshallah, Jazakallah khair for that. I'm going to get ready for a practical. But those who want some help in implementing this sunnah, we've got some workbooks here, where very simply we've put things in here where you are. I'll go to that now. Can you see that here? So the work of some of the learned brothers here, they've made it very easy for you. They listed out the sunnahs of awakening, the sunnahs of eating, the minimum levels, at least not going against the sunnah. What are the higher levels of eating, drinking, dressing, going to nighttime, sleeping, and some of the worldly benefits? Again, just to strengthen your motivation as well. But you are all lovers now. Do you need worldly benefits? Uncle Iqbal? That's why we put it there. Interesting. I want you to go through the workbook. We were going to do this as a practical, but you're all intelligent fellas. And those who are serious, go through, mark out all the ones that you're already implementing. Choose at least 3 before you leave this Itikaaf that you're going to implement. That is this. That is the outward sunnah and your expression of love. But you know what? The whole path is sunnah. The whole wisdom is there. I'm telling you now, you do not even need to think too much. You just need to nurture that love and motivation you have. Come under the line. Those 5 miles are all about the path to Allah. That deals with your inward, your outward sunnahs. Let's make a change and let's make it together. This is really what I wanted to make, just to get you to think and make those commitments. We're going to now do a Muraqabah Muhammadiyya again. But you know what? I want you to make those intentions about implementing these sunnahs. Make those intentions. Make the promises to yourself that you will take this booklet. You will mark out what you're already following and choose 3. Choose 3 that you will implement on Eid day and continue with. And build on that. You make the intentions to follow the path, for that's the biggest sunnah to the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make those intentions and present them as gifts when you're about to meet the best of creation. See, Ustad Majid has told you about the features of the blessed creation. Some of us, we can't have the same height, the same nose shape, the same build as Al-Mustafa. But we can decorate ourselves in the Sunnah. We can decorate ourselves in the Sunnah and express that love and at least present that as a gift. The gift of intentions when you do this Muraqabah. Any questions? If not, play on these thoughts, make those intentions, and present those gifts when we sit for the practical now. Yeah. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika. Take it, brothers. If there's no questions, then we stand up.
Stand up and face the blessed.
said, walk to me and I'll run to you. Call me and I'll show you. Hiding like a pearl for you to heal and guide you from deep inside you. Hiding like a pearl. You said, walk to me and I'll run to you. Call.
So give the brother the mic, he can read it out. So give you the example of dressing, basic level.
The clothes should cover this.
Okay, everybody just listen to the brother. The basic level.
Basic level, this is the basic level. Everybody should be observing this. The clothes should cover the satar. Remember, the aura of the man is between the navel and the knees. That also means to cover the knees as well. The aura of the woman is more detailed. Well, we'll have to see the notebook for that.
Wait, but you're not female, so that's all right.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Basic level.
The basic level sunnahs. Make sure your trousers or your kurta are above the ankles.
Number one. Number two.
Number two, not to imitate clothing of non-Muslims or devilish, Shtani people.
Number three.
Number three, to wear silk clothing or gold jewelry for men.
Not to wear.
Yeah? And it's disallowed to wear one shoe, remember that? And not to wear clothing of the opposite gender.
Higher level.
Now, higher level sunnah.
That's what you wanted, didn't you?
That's exactly what I wanted, yes. Well, I wanted, yeah. So our Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's clothes consist of a sheet, a lungi, a loincloth, a kurta, which is a long shirt, and a turban with rotating colors. He used to wear a topi, a hat, below the turban, and sometimes he used to wear only a topi. Sometimes the turban had a tail, whilst other times it didn't. The tail of the turban used to fall between the shoulders of the back. To wear the upper or lower garment up to the mid-calf areas. When wearing the shoes or clothing, and to begin with the right, then the left. And when removing shoes or clothing, begin with the left, then the right. When wearing new clothes, to praise Allah with any suitable praise, then perform 2 rakats of nafil prayer and give the old clothes away to the needy persons. When lifting shoes, do so with the fingers of the left hand. The worldly benefits of dressing, mashallah, we're going to go through all of this.
You asked for this. I try to keep it short.
Yeah.
But
no, it's fine. It's fine. There are, alhamdulillah, so many worldly benefits of dressing.
Mashallah. But you know what? All that work, like Brother Yasser, Imam Case, all these brothers who are learned, they've done all that work for you.
Mashallah,
we're going to give that to you in a booklet form.
Yes.
But this isn't just as a gift. This is for this. What does it say here?
I can't read it
Tick
from here.
if acting upon.
Oh yes.
It's a worksheet.
It's a worksheet.
Time is critical. So okay, can I get the brothers to sit down now, please? Time is critical.
Are we sitting for muraqabah?
Yeah.
Most people need to be off the chair.
Obviously, we've got more buzurgs than youngsters.
More youngsters than buzurgs.
Eh?
Buzurgs are on the floor, youngsters on the chair.
No, I meant the buzurgs on the chairs. Obviously, by now you should all be familiar with the process. Before the ustad start the process, there's things that you need to do is start bringing your heart and mind towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, refreshing the 3 keys, decluttering your mind from the distractions, putting your phones away, sitting in a comfortable manner so you do not disturb the person next to you. And inshallah ta'ala, that's the only way you're going to have a better experience. So we'll be commencing as soon as the ustads are ready.
While we're setting up, start to make your intentions, start to come into the presence that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Start to think about the gifts of Sunnah that you will be presenting as well. At least present the intentions. Everything has been given on a plate as such from the work that the brothers have done with the worksheets. Start to make those intentions of what gifts you will be presenting. For really, the Prophet, peace be upon him, is not in need of any gifts. These end up coming back to us. Some of you will even see that in the reality of your spiritual experiences. Sit comfortably, and because you are now used to a few practices, each of the cleansing parts will be now shorter due to being used to it and due to time. So give it full concentration now. Rahman, start to bring the three keys into mind. Close your eyes. Yep. Start to focus, and particularly those brothers who, when Ustad Majid asked if you've experienced and or not, those that haven't, we will particularly be targeting you today for feedback. That haven't experienced in the mirage of the Salah, start to make your intentions firm for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, to yourselves, now do the protection amals. Intentions for the pleasure of Allah, three keys with me. Now the protection amals. Start to bring those three states to mind. Bring yourself into a state of humility. State of shukr. State of reliance. With your heart and your mind, rely on Allah the Almighty in making this journey happen. You do your efforts with your intentions. Now you're starting your miles now, please. Bismillah once, Astaghfar 3 times, Durood Sharif 3 times. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah 3 times. Now bring the 3 keys into mind, because each Lataif spiritual center cleansing power will be short, so fully focus now, please. Fully focus, rely on Allah, the Exalted, to put the barakah in. As you refresh the three keys, imagine the beautiful name of Allah, the Almighty, is above this gathering, full of Noor. The Noor is everywhere. Let the light flow down upon your head. As you breathe in, let it flow throughout your whole body. As you breathe out, let it relax your body and remove the darkness of worries, negative energy, negative thinking. Release it all. Fully focused. Take some long, deep breaths. Now refresh the 3 keys. Allah the Exalted is with me, seeing me, hearing me. Imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in red color. Now focus the cleansing on the red spiritual center below the navel. Take a deep breath in, breathe in the red Noor. Let it go straight to the red spiritual center below the navel. When you breathe out, let it exit from behind. Red below the navel. Refresh the three keys. Imagine the beautiful name of Allah is in orange color. Focus on the cleansing of the orange spiritual center, level of the navel, belly button. Fully focused. Orange belly button. Refresh the three keys. Allah is with me, is seeing me, hearing me. The beautiful name of Allah, the Almighty, is now in yellow color. Focus the cleansing of the yellow spiritual center at the level of your stomach. Yellow stomach. Refresh the three keys. The presence, Allah's with me, seeing me, hearing me. Now the beautiful name of Allah is in a beautiful green color. Focus on the green spiritual center cleansing at the chest, level of your heart, chest, green. Long deep breaths, full focus. refresh the presence. Allah's with me, seeing me, hearing me. Now the beautiful name of Allah is light blue color. Focus the cleansing of the light blue spiritual center, level of your throat. Light blue throat. And again, refresh the presence. And as you do, the beautiful name of Allah, the exalted, is in dark blue color. Focus the cleansing of the dark blue spiritual center at the level of your forehead. Dark blue forehead. Long deep breaths. Fully focus. Refresh the presence. Refresh the presence. Allah's with me, seeing me, hearing me. Imagine now the beautiful name of Allah is in white. Beautiful white color. Focused on the cleansing now of the white spiritual center just above the head. White crown of your head. Long, deep breaths. Now refresh the presence, and this time when you breathe in, the light enters from the top of your white spiritual center throughout your whole body. Just like the preparation throughout your whole body. Focus on your breathing, let the light illuminate around your body. As you breathe out, your body is getting lighter and lighter. Let the body float away. Let it disintegrate. And it disappears. Your legs, arms, torso, head, all of your body has now disappeared. Just your breath, spirit, and spiritual centers remain. Focus on your breathing. Long, slow. One by one, let the spiritual centers disappear. Red has vanished. Orange, gone. Green, finish. Yellow, finish. Light blue, dark blue, white. All your spiritual centers have now disappeared. Just your breath, spirit remain. In front of you is now your beautiful spiritual body. Like looking in the mirror. Even if you just see an outline or feel an outline of yourself, that is fine. Get ready to blow your spirit into your spiritual body. When you're ready, take the golden breath or transfer. If you haven't done so, take the golden breath now. Transfer your spirit into your spiritual body. Start to think of your teacher. Forget about everything else now. You are in your spiritual body. Think, imagine, see, feel the teacher. A thought is fine. Connect with the spirit of the teacher and find yourself in the blessed city of Medina. Sit in front of the green dome is in front of you, and behind you is the blessed Jannat Baki. Sit here for a while. Let the light from the blessed green dome enter your heart. You pause here, let you experience here. Use this time to be thankful for the blessings of this Itikaaf, the blessings of the Prophet ﷺ himself. Think about the Sunnahs. Your teacher, spirit, take you by your hand and walk you towards Bab Islam. You are in front of the golden gate, Jali Mubarak. Send salam and durood on the best of creation. in your heart. Stay here for a moment. We'll remain silent. You send your salam and durood. Let the golden gate open in front of you and enter. Get closer. You're now in front of the green Jali Mubarak. For the durood is not just recited, it is also your intentions of bringing peace and smile to the blessed face of the Prophet, peace be upon him, of your implementation of the Sunnah inward and outward. Reflect on that. For what a bigger truth than that, than to bring a smile on the face of the best of creation, the blessed face. As you do, you get closer. You're now in front of the white dome. Door to the spiral staircase opens. Start to make the intentions of change as you enter the stairs. The change that you will make, the change of environment, the company of the righteous and the pious. Change your company, change your environment, so you are surrounded with lovers of Al-Mustafa. Let your teacher take you down the staircase, step by step. Asking forgiveness for your lack of Sunnah. Asking forgiveness for the hurt we may have caused due to our amals of sin. You're now at the bottom. Now sit down with your teacher in front of the blessed grave Mubarak. Start to present your intentions as boxes of gifts, the intentions of Sunnah, the intentions of change of company, the intentions of change within yourself, the intentions of dawah by your character. Present the gift of following this path, the promise to yourself as a gift to follow and stay connected to the path of the Prophet. Present these. And see them being accepted in the light from the blessed grave, illuminating stronger and stronger, and from within that light meet the best of creation. For we will now remain silent and you continue with your experience. Reconnect, refocus when you need to. So wherever you are, wherever you have reached, start to take permission, read through in your heart. With respect, others slowly start to come back. Slowly start coming back. Still stay in that mindset though. Even just thinking about the best of creation is a blessing. Start to think about those things that you're going to give back. What are you going to give back? Behold that blessed smile. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. So if you could, this is now your opportunity, inshallah, to give feedback, particularly difficulties or those who are struggling, and hear from those who've had experiences as well. So from the
Since the Itikaaf has become, majority of us are been here since the day one. Some have joined us half the way. So from all those who participated or participating, the spiritual miraj we did, and the spiritual salah we did. So different practices we've been doing individually and collectively. So the spiritual salah we have been doing from the day one, from the beginning. Then the spiritual miraj we did at the beginning, and the spiritual salah, and we've been practicing the various spiritual muraqabas and practices individually and collectively, as well as the spiritual muraqabah Muhammadiyah. We've done a few sessions as well. So after amongst all those sessions we did individually and collectively, if those who have not had any experience whatsoever, then we can start by asking you to raise your hand, and then inshallah we'll ask you for any questions, what are the difficulties you're facing, what is the issue, and try to help you and address it. Or if further needed, we can even see you one-to-one. And then after that, we can also go other people who have experienced but who have not shared any experiences with us yet. And then everyone else after that, inshallah.
I'll try and target people at the back. Sorry?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yeah, the experience is similar to what I was doing before. I get through the lataifs all right, but when I'm transferring, I'm kind of going blank. My mind kind of starts swaying because I'm not getting anything. I took some advice the other day from Brother Kes. I have been trying to apply it, but I just can't seem to get past that stage.
So what advice were you given? How are you applying it?
Well, basically, it told me to just keep my mind away from external issues and just remember that Allah is with me at all times, and try to stay focused But I feel like I am doing that, but I'm not. I still don't feel like I'm getting anywhere.
So you can mention your talk. Well,
Brother Adnan, you said that when you say your mind's blank, what do you mean? Because you have to be thinking about something. You can't just.
No, I'm trying to follow the steps that obviously I think his brother Majid's taking us through, but I'm not getting a connection of any sort.
Okay, so talk me through what you are seeing, where your thoughts go. Talk us through that.
Well, I'm trying to picture what the brother's saying,
Yeah.
but I'm struggling to do that.
Okay, so
Yeah.
then, if you're struggling to do that, where does your mind go then?
Well, it's just and then I'm almost second guessing, like trying to force it, but it's just not happening. Then I think I'm doubting myself at that point. Why that's happening?
So what are you doubting? Are you seeing something that you're doubting then?
No, I'm not seeing anything. That's why I'm doubting. I'm doubting because I'm trying to find something that I'm not getting. If that makes sense.
It does. Perhaps other stars can will speak, but broadly speaking, I think you're right. It is still the same issue that you mentioned at the beginning, which there seems to be a difficulty. You're constantly fighting as opposed to letting yourself.
No, it definitely is the case because it's the same thing every time. I get to a certain point and it feels like at that point I can't go any further, and it's getting frustrating now because I feel like I'm searching for more. If that makes sense.
Well, what you're saying makes sense, but the issue that you're having is that when the stars say that go with the flow, is that even if you're seeing nothing, even if your minds are blank, you allow that to develop. You don't try to force anything. If you can imagine, then absolutely, you can go by thought level. Nothing is still stopping you to thinking about all of those steps. But the issue that you have is if you start thinking, well, why am I not visualizing? It was like the uncle here mentioned earlier today. He felt the presence of the teacher. He was thinking about the teacher, but he couldn't visualize the teacher. And we had to explain to him that the visualization, you don't focus on that because it's going to hold you back. And that seems like the issue that you're having. You're constantly trying to visualize something, whereas you're not, which is stopping you from going with the flow. You're stopping yourself even going on thought level or imagination level because you kind of want to start cycling straight away. What might be beneficial for you is perhaps just another one-to-one, perhaps with the start case, and someone just go through with you just on a one-to-one level, I think.
Okay, that's fine.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, please, if you could, so because we can't see back there, they've turned the cameras off. Just mention your name and where you're from, just for that.
So my name is Bilal from Nelson. I think, as the brother mentioned, I'm having similar experiences, but I think
So mention your experience of this one.
So the experience for this one, so I can follow the Lataif process up to the transfer part. But I think after the transfer, because of the pictures that were shown at the presentation, I can imagine going through that process.
Okay, so let's try like we've done before. So mention, rather than saying I imagine the pictures, just take the word imagine out,
right,
and describe your experience.
So I was able to follow, as you were mentioning, the different places that we were visiting.
So mention those places where you were, to describe that scenery.
So for example,
even if you need to close your eyes now, take yourself back and start to mention.
So for example, at the start when you mentioned...
No, not example, just your experience of that one.
So as we were outside the Masjid Nabi, inside, you mentioned the back was Jannat al-Baqi and at the front was the Roza Mubarak that we could see. And then outside the Jali Mubarak as well. And then I could imagine the chambers opening going inside. I think I could feel the presence of the teacher as well.
So again, take those words imagination, I think, out of your vocabulary.
Right. So I could imagine. I could
So start
feel
again. Start again. But taking those words out.
So
So you started off with Jannat Baki behind you and
the Masjid Nabi in front, and then ended up outside the chambers, and then
so from there you suddenly ended up outside the green chamber.
yeah. So
Okay, that's fine. Carry on.
And then the doors opening, and I could feel the presence of the teacher as well. So the image was coming in my mind, and then it was coming out and then coming in. And then as the chambers opened, viewing the green Chadar Mubarak as well, and then as was mentioned, the white dome, and then going down the stairs to the white dome, and then I think the rest of the experience was just sitting there, and I could feel the presence of the teacher. And
Okay,
just
mashallah.
reciting the Ruth.
So having relayed that, how does that feel? Does it feel a little bit more real?
Yeah. So
Yeah, this is the purpose of the feedback. Yeah. So is now when you're experience like that, but even when you're doing the muraqabah, you take those I think, I imagine. Yeah. I mean that's the beginning of. Firstly, you get the order. Do you remember those 20 states that was mentioned in the presentation?
Yeah.
First, you get the order right. Then you're thinking, is it? Isn't it? Then you start to feel the presence.
Yeah, so I've definitely feel the experiences are becoming, they're improving each time we're doing it.
Right, okay. So, but do you see how when you relay it, how these things are starting to feel real? Because you missed out the golden gate. We never showed you an image of Jannat Baki, but you felt that, or you experienced that. So this is the value of the feedback. So difficulty is when someone says blank. Because you started off like that, but then you started mentioning, already you now have, I mean, what a blessing to feel the presence of your teacher spiritually. That's awakening that key. Even if you just focus on that, everything else will become easier and easier. How real does it feel now?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, it's feeling a lot better, the experiences that I'm having now.
Okay,
as to when I
mashallah.
started.
So now build on this. In your, you were you here for the spiritual salah?
Yeah. I was
Yeah, so
here.
build on this for Maghrib as well, because you're already in, because the spirit is already connected, and particularly yourselves with Masjid Nabawi in that area. So start to pray your salah there. So reconnect with that, then pray and just focus. Even if it's spiritually playing with the teacher, build on that presence. Okay, so this is good.
Okay.
It's good feedback, and you worked with us, and then you already just from that conversation developed from an experience to an experience. Okay? Jazakallah for that.
Jazakallah.
Just one thing I quickly want to say, that as you can see with the example with the brother Bilal, is your name? Bilal, is that initially when he stood up and spoke, he was quite dismissive of his whole of the experience, and he decided that he's got an issue or got a problem. So the Ustad, what they have done and shown you now, he slowly broke down some of the barriers which have been erected after the experience. So the third culture went back in time and looked through each aspect and said, no, this is not right, this is not right, and this is not right. And what has he done wrong? Is he's then become the judge of it now. And it is a classic mistake people do, is you just go with the flow and experience. If completely blank, you could not even follow in words, then there's a problem. And yes, you should see Ustad, there might be some issue underlying issue, they'll address that as well. But the example is given using the example of Brother Bilal is that you should not be like thinking like this. MashaAllah, thank him for sharing his experience and being brave as well. You should be just relaying whatever you went through the stages and what you experienced. Even go to the point where describing the weather, the heat, the color, the scenes on the left, on the right, who was in front, who was behind you. These things you might think is not significant, it's not important. For us, it is. So don't hold back, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Again, just your name and...
It's Brother Nabi.
Yeah,
I followed the process of the Lataif, followed yourself through the process. Throughout, I was thinking of Hazrat Sahab as well whilst we were doing the Lataif process. At the golden breath, I transferred fine. As soon as I did, Hazrat Sahab's thoughts automatically came in. I did visualize them as though it was like a transition of a photo fading in and out. At that stage, imagine myself at the sitting outside the Green Dome with Hazrat Sahab himself. We just sat there, didn't really say anything. As we were walking towards the gate of Bab al-Salam, just appeared to be just pure white. Couldn't really see anything apart from just pure white. And then I just saw two people sitting together. Don't know who they were. They were just sat together like side by side, just similar to the way I'm sat with Brother Zafar right now. I thought one of them was Hazrat Sahab himself. The other, I have no idea who it was. I also visualized Hazrat Sahab stepping into somewhere. Again, I don't know what that was, where they stepped in. And finally, at the grave of Prophet Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we just sat there silently for quite a while without anything being said or spoken. At the time of leaving, I just prayed to myself that inshallah hope to see you again. And next time I do, I pray that I make you smile and come with a lot of sunnahs within me and on me. And then I just asked the ijazah from Hazrat Sahab to leave, and that was it really.
MashaAllah, Mubarak on that. Because I saw this brother for, like the other brothers mentioned, for 101. And just for the benefit of the others, what do you think changed from that blank, like the other brothers mentioned? So what can you teach us to help people make that transition?
I just followed what you said really when we met. I just thought about Hazrat Sahab more stronger visually, just tried to picture them wherever the mind went, the thought went. I just imagined Hazrat Sahab being there and just speaking to him, and wherever the thought and the imagination went, I just let it flow really, and didn't really try to control it as such. It just it is what it is.
MashaAllah, Mubarak on that. And thank you for sharing your experience to help others as well. May Allah give you more blessings in that regards. So carry on. Is anybody else who's had that, who hasn't spoken, had that difficulty?
Bismillah, my name is Brother Wasim. Ustad Qais is saying to give feedback, so inshallah I will do. During the Lataif, because you were saying to put extra focus on, so I was trying my best to do that. At the point of the red Latifa, I could feel a lot of cold air coming out from the back. And during the other Latifas, I could see a mixture of green and purple type color. Mainly it was green. And also during the lataifs, the thought of the teacher was there as well. At the point of transfer, I thought of Hazrat Saab, and I could feel their presence. And before you said it, I could feel the presence that I was outside the green dome, and also that there was light, a nur coming from the green dome up onto Hazrat Saab, and from there them onto myself. And also before you mentioned about the Jali Mubarak, the thoughts were coming to my mind that I was already there, and that the Jali Mubaraks were opening, and that I was going ahead. When you was mentioning about the white dome, I was already downstairs in front of the blessed grave, and at that point I was just constantly reading Durood and Salam with Hazrat Saab next to me, and there was no communication or anything like that. It was just thoughts were coming that Prophet ﷺ and Hazrat Saab are here, and that is all that I need. And even if it's silence, that's enough for myself, just to be in that presence. And when you were saying to come back, it was constantly going through my mind that I do not want to leave this place. But a thought came that it's time to go, meaning that it was the teacher was saying it's time to go, and then we came back.
MashaAllah. So that explains why that Naat wasn't played afterwards.
Ji.
MashaAllah, that's our audio brother. He's doing the microphone as well. Is there any of the stars want to comment to?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think, mashallah, Mubarak to yourselves. Obviously, you've been there for years, and especially doing khidmat as well, center of media and sound. And is this the first time, would you say?
In the past it's happened, but I've had doubt. So once the Ustads, and especially Ustad Qais was saying, just go with the flow. So I've just negated all that and just gone with the thought process or whatever. So I'm just mentioning it as it is.
I mean, especially it's important that you were saying that you felt as though you're already there and traveled ahead of the instruction given by Ustad Sajid. So that in itself, when you go with the flow and naturally happens, it goes beyond your control. It just flows naturally. So that is the biggest indication and sign that this world are actually happening spiritually. Although you're still saying, I'm trying to think or imagine, because that's your interpretation of the whole situation, because obviously it's happened maybe very rare or for the first time. Well, alhamdulillah, as you can see, mashallah, you're quite close in a sense that you serve to an extent, little bit, sound and everything else. And so there is that closeness to the teacher is there. Also, it's important to, like what Nadeem is saying, to focus on the purification course now as well. Because everything we experience here, we have to now translate into action. Like what is the biggest action and the best way to follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the purification course. The Mashaykh has designed in such a way, based on Quran and Sunnah, and the light of that, is that if someone just follows that step by step, tick by tick, cross by cross, then automatically is adopting the Sunnah, is leaving what's actually hated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is not quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he hates. It is against the quality and akhlaq of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're also learning that. And then we embodying the Sunnah, bringing the Sunnah in our life. So the lataif of these different processes actually gives indication that inshallah you should really refocus and to bring that in line as well, inshallah. And as you can see, because of, like we were saying, certain khidmat you're doing already, there is a special attachment and support from the teacher and the mashayikh and their light, you're able to transfer and experience quite closeness to the teacher as well as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And it is true that you were saying that being in the company, being in the presence, it is sufficient. Rather, like the mashayikh say that when they actually are present in their shaykh, in their mashayikh, in their presence, they would feel as though not only that peace, they think as though I've actually reached my destination, even to the point where paradise and hell doesn't matter anymore. I've reached my destination. I'm in the company. Everything else is a bonus. It's up to them and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I've actually reached. I'm content now. It's as though I'm reached my paradise and destination. That kind of conviction and motive, they have and show us, inshallah. So, like you correctly said, being in the presence and observing the whole situation and the light and being in the company is sufficient. And inshallah, when someone practices more regularly, then the further opening comes in terms of communication, where you'll feel as though the guidance and the instructions are actually coming to the heart. Sometimes it transfers and you feel that this is happening, what's been said to you. Again, it becomes so clear that you don't have to be convinced anymore. It happens naturally as well. So that will be your next step of progress as well as matching it up with the payback that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam have done so much for us, for our lives and for the whole ummah. And we've been blessed, especially to our zariya and the means of our teachers and the mashayikh. Now, what can we do in return? What can we do to match that? Like I believe this morning or yesterday, Hadith was saying that even one glance in their, from their point of view, they're so humble and so appreciative of these blessings that one glance of such experience which you're mentioning is sufficient that I'm ready to sacrifice all my previous life and the future life to come as well. If nothing else happens after that, it doesn't matter. I've seen and I've tasted, and that is sufficient for me as a motivator, as a motivation. And yet, mashallah, you went inside the Masjid Nabawi, the blessed grave, you saw the presence, the two blessed beings that you saw as well, Mashayikh, as well as the Hadith Sahib as well. So it is definitely light upon light, as been mentioned in the past as well, inshallah. So from now on, inshallah, just develop that in the salah collectively, and especially when you go outside Ramadan, when we go back to our own lives and carry on. That's where the real test comes. That's where the real, you could say, the work begins in terms of the going to the purification course and maintaining this. Because remember, it is a gift, it's a blessing. If you don't do the respect, honor, qadr of what we actually receive, then it could be taken away as well. So we have to show that, appreciate that, and obviously thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the Mashaykh for this ni'mah as well and blessing, inshallah. Maghrib is I think there were 5 minutes left.
Last 6 minutes left.
Yeah, 6 minutes.
Okay. Put the breads.
Assalamu alaikum. Not sure which one to tell because this one we just now is quite lengthy, but the first one is like I've got a manat on my head. I need to tell those thoughts. So shall I just tell the first one? Okay, basically when the Ustad Majid led, it was quite clear. I followed everything through. And when we went to the companions, I was like Hazrat Hamza was there, Abu Bakr, and then before Ustad Majid said it, it was Hazrat Bilal were there. And it came into me, or conversation was that how did yourself cope with being tortured? How did you deal with this when you've been crushed by the stones? And they said that when you have unconditional love for Allah and His Prophet, you can deal with anything. Even if you had flames under me with the stones, I could manage that. And then there's a brother quite close to me. I think Ustad will figure out who it is. And they said, tell him he'll get through his problem. Just have love for Allah and His Prophet and give him my Islam. So, and they also said, it was that you have to give this feedback because I'm a bit camera shy, but I was told I have to relay this one on to the Ustads.
So, mashallah, is this your first time having communication?
Clear as this time was first time, but I do it quite regularly in working with but this was quite clear. Today was.
Okay, mashallah. So that's wonderful, and the message is very true as well. So the message is very powerful, that having unconditional love means it doesn't matter what happens to me, I will still love and follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It doesn't matter, this is one of the levels of sincerity, even if the decision of heaven and hell was made now, and I'm a person of hell, I'm still going to worship Allah Azza wa Jalla. It doesn't matter. So that's unconditional love, that you love and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for who He is without anyone in return. So Hazrat Bilal radiallahu anhu had this, and many of the companions, all the companions radiallahu anhu had this, but the question is, do we have this? So if you're told, every one of you that receives a message, you receive a message for a reason. The first and foremost reason you receive that is not for anyone else, it's for you, yourself. So the receiver of the message should be the first one to implement it, and not think that it's for the other person is for me. Say that it's for me. So now the message for yourself is, begin to practice this within your own life and manifest it in every way that you can. And whoever else the message was for, give that message to him and let him benefit from it as well. But because it came through you, it's a message for yourself, inshallah. And it's a mubarak and a blessing. But the blessings are wonderful, but they can always come with the conditions. Condition is, now practice it and learn. Ask the question I would ask if I were you, how do I begin to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unconditionally? So there's always a question after it, the question of how. And so that's what you should be asking afterwards, and think about this, inshallah. So Jazakallah.
I won't go into the other one because of Tari time's coming, but I just want to say that I had a one-on-one with Ustad Sajid going back to my purification course, and that's within 24 hours, that's helped me so much. So I just want to reiterate for the new brothers especially, that it's all is in the purification course, you know, especially when you get to the mind level. So, and I just want to say Jazakallah to Ustad Sajid as well.
MashaAllah. That's fine. So we'll finish now, inshallah. Jazakallah.